No one likes studying. It's not fun. Hey guys, it's Breann. So today I am going to be talking about how you can get a better Asvab score. So, hi Figaro. So as you know, the Asvab is the test that you take right at the beginning of your military career to see what type of jobs you actually qualify for. My score was an 84, and today I want to talk about how you can improve your score. It's one of the most common questions that I've actually gotten this past week was how people can improve their score, and also like if getting a better score kind of guarantees you to get a better job. So today I compiled a list of just 10 easy tips that can help you better your Asvab score. So I would just like to start off by saying there's no such thing as like a good Asvab score. Like obviously there's passing and failing, right? But realistically what you want to be doing is aiming for the score for the job that you want. So if you know you want to be working in like nuclear power, you're really gonna have to score up in the 90s. If you want to be doing broadcast journalism and photojournalism and things that have to do with writing, you're going to want to score about in the 70s. But so look into the jobs that you want to have on your list. What scores do those jobs need? Now, these scores could be an overall Asvab score, that overall percentage, or it could be a specific score in a specific aptitude area. So it all depends on what type of job you're going. You might need a higher score in electronics, and so you could kind of like lack on math a little bit. It all just depends on what type of job you're going for. Just understand that just because you get the exact score for a job that you want, it doesn't guarantee that you're getting that job. One thing I just want to add is it might be really hard to get motivated to study, especially if you've been out of school for a long time or maybe just a few years, or heck, if you're even in school and you just don't feel like studying for something else. It's all about your mindset. And also, having a really good score doesn't guarantee you're going to get the job you want. You could score for an insanely high job and then just not get that job. That's how it works out sometimes. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't try your best and you shouldn't strive to get the highest score possible to open up every single opportunity door for you. So do yourself a favor and just open a book and study for a week or two and you'll do great. So just to recap, my first tip was to set a goal, look for the job that you want and try to match that score, or at least bare minimum meet the requirements for that job. My next tip is to just study one section at a time. So it can be really overwhelming if you're looking at a huge Asvab prep book. What I would suggest is to just set aside a little bit of time every day and just look at one subject at a time. And if you want to do like a big study session, like an hour or 2 hours or something crazy like that, do like 15 or 30 minutes in one section. And then before you switch to the next section, give your brain a break. Go for a walk, go get a snack, watch TV for a little bit, whatever you want to do. But just get your mind off of math before you switch to like science, if that makes sense. The next tip I have is to use flashcards. So the book that I bought, actually, I have it right here. It actually comes with flashcards in the back. Let me show you. So this is the book that I ended up buying. I bought this at Barnes & Noble and it was seriously like $30. It wasn't super expensive, and for me, I think it was a good investment. It can be a little bit pricey, but I know you can buy them used, and if you want to buy this one off of me, go ahead and message me. I'm not going to use it again, so I'm willing to sell it to anyone. But the back, it comes with these really cool flashcards. So I left most of mine in. Well, one page just fell out. So with the flashcards, what I would do is I would just go down column by column and then flip it over and see if I got that question right. Another thing that goes along with making the flashcards, so mine came with my book, but if you want to make them by hand, there is research that actually shows that when you write something down, it makes it easier for your brain to remember that information later. If you wanted to do that to help your brain learn, that's another great tip. My next tip is to practice the math. So even if you're like, oh yeah, I totally remember Algebra 1, that's super easy, I would still recommend doing a few practice questions. You can go to literally like any math website and print off practice sheets that are like PDF. I got really bad with factoring because I haven't been in high school in a few years, but then as soon as I started to practice those equations again, it all came back. So my suggestion there would just to be practice the equations. Even if you remember them, just overall do a whole big review on math, because all different types of math problems are going to be thrown at you, whether it's finding the area of a square, square roots of numbers, decimals, fractions, percentages, everything will be thrown at you. It's all going to be really manageable and pretty easy, but just take a review even if you feel confident in the math department. My next tip would be using the vocabulary that you see in your book. There's a part of the Asvab that's about reading comprehension, and within that, there's a part that is about vocabulary. So it'll throw out a word and it'll be like, what's the closest word, or like, what's the closest meaning to this word? And it'll give you like 4 options. Some of them are a little bit more tricky. My suggestion would be to start implementing them into your daily conversation conversation, so it feels more natural when you use them. All right, my next tip is to take the practice tests. So the first time you go see your recruiter, or one of the first few times you go see your recruiter, they'll have you take a practice test. So mine was the very first day I met my recruiter. He was like, get in that practice room and take your test. And I got a 69. Main jobs that I wanted required a 72, but from when I was studying here, I would actually go online and still take practice tests as well. Maybe not like the full length ones, because that's like 3 hours of my day. But after studying a section, I would go online and take like the math portion and like take that test and see how I was doing. Because the more comfortable you get with taking the test, easier it's going to be to get a good score. And I'm gonna go ahead and actually, in the description of this video, I'm gonna link a bunch of different practice tests that you guys can take, but I'll link a few down in the description so it's easy for you guys and accessible. Another study tip that I have, this is just a general study tip, I actually like to play music when I study. I found a really good playlist that is just lyric-free music, and it's like the lo-fi, cool, chill study beats, and I really like those, and they really help, and they really created like an atmosphere. I was really able to focus. Find a music that works for you and helps your brain focus in. And also on top of that, try to eat before. You'll never be able to study well if you're super hungry. Just try to make studying the most pleasant experience possible for you, because no one likes studying. It's not fun. My next tip would be to set a specific time aside for studying. Now, whether that's 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, just try to make it a little bit consistent, even if it's like these flashcards and maybe just doing like 3 or 4 pages a day. That way you don't get super burnt out and just by studying for 3 hours and sitting in one spot and being bored and falling asleep. My next tip would be to get one of these books. So there's this book, and I really like the Kaplan one. One of the main reasons why I got it is because it was up to date. So this is for 2020 and 2021. So I took my test in early 2020, right in January. Like I said, I originally scored a 69 on that first test, and then I took the Asvab and I got an 84. But I know there's lots of other books that are a lot thinner, like obviously this one's kind of massive, and it can be really intimidating. I went to Barnes & Noble, that's the bookstore that we have where I live. I know some Walmarts have them. I know Amazon has a lot of great options as well. And the last tip that I have is to get a friend to help you. So one of my friends, she literally has a master's degree in biology. So any like super simple science question where I was like, Annie, what the hell is photosynthesis? I know what photosynthesis is, don't worry. And she would just like very elementary school explain it to me in a way that was really easy for me to understand, because she's my friend. She knows how to phrase things in a way that I'll understand and be able to digest. And just on top of having your friends help you, maybe make a game out of it. All right, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope these tips help you prepare for your Asvab. And just remember, if you don't like your score the first time you take it, you can always retake your Asvab. If you have any questions or comments or even tips of your own that might help people that I didn't mention in this video, feel free to leave them down in the comments. As always, shoot me a DM on Instagram if you want to reach out and you have any specific questions. I hope you have a great day. Bye.